Good evening. This is NX8J. We will be starting the W8AL Wednesday night net right now. At this time, we will take check-ins. Everybody just throw out a call sign. I'll catch it. I'll put it on the log, and you may stand down, and we'll go get all the check-ins. After that is over, we will go through and see if there's any traffic by all the people who have checked in. That the repeater here is a dual mode analog and digital. That means when you key up, give it a half a second or a second to decide whether you are analog or digital. During that time, it is not repeating anything. So it could chop off the first couple of syllables of what it is you say. Just give it a second after you push the push to talk key. Okay, let's go for check-ins. First station.
8 ISS.
CA8 MNT.
KB8 PRK.
That sounds like a TED. Kilo Bravo 8 PRK. As soon as I find you on the list, there it is. Okay, next station.
Whiskey 8 Victor Echo.
Good evening, Roger. Next station.
M8PW.
Here he is again. How you doing, Bill? Next station. Okay, got 4 check-ins tonight. Stand by a little bit for further check-ins. This is the W8AL Wednesday night BS net, for lack of a better description. Do notice we have some weather coming in. We're getting alerts for counties to the west of us. At the rate it is traveling, I'd say we got about an hour, maybe less, before we get it. Any other check-ins for the W8AL Wednesday night net?
W8JKC, additional.
Okay, I heard Justin. You probably got some web check-ins. Go ahead.
No, got a couple of doubles with you. KS and MNT. Both were the first 2 there.
Oh, thanks, Justin. Okay, John is in the log. Tom, MNT, didn't hear you, but we got you in the log too. Any other stations?
MBO.
Ending NVO. NVO, let me find you on the list. I'm looking. MBO, Fred, Whiskey Delta 8, Mike Bravo Oscar, QSL.
Me.
Okay, thanks, Fred. Any other check-ins?
XQ, Perry.
Hello, Perry. Got you in the log. Any other check-ins?
How about another additional?
Good.
It'll be a Zoom Herb WD8 IPE from Georgia.
I have Herb, Whiskey Delta 8, India Papa Echo. Good evening, Herb. Any other check-ins? Okay, I've got 9 check-ins. We'll take some late check-ins after a bit. let's go down the names I do have, and we'll see if we have any traffic for the net, brief traffic. If you have something that's going to take more than a minute or so, indicate that. We'll come around and get you on the second pass. So first up, I have Kilowatt 8 India, Sierra, Sierra. John?
NX8J, this is Kate, ISS. No traffic at this time. Maybe later. Over.
Alrighty, thank you, John. Tom, KA8, Mike, November Tango. Any traffic?
Not at this point in time. We'll just sit back and ride the rocking chair, so to speak. KA8MNT.
Thank you, Tom. Continuing in alphabetical order by call sign, that brings us up to Kilo Bravo 8, Papa Romeo Kilo. Ted, any traffic?
Me, Del. I had to turn the backbone down.
Yeah, Ted, any traffic for the net? And it sounds like you're listening to Skywarn.
I got the 6 meter on. TBPRK here. The only thing I got to add right now is that I was watching TV 21 out of Youngstown, and their sports segment came on, and they said they made the announcement that the Hall of Fame opened today, and they also said that any announcements about any shutting down, the induction ceremony or the game or anything else. Right now, everything else is still on. But anything that would, if they decide to shut it down, they'd probably make that announcement, he said, around July 1st.
Roger on that. Yeah, we've had Dave Baker doing interviews the last couple of days. They are open. There are, some restrictions, obviously, with number of visitors, etc. But that is correct. The plan so far is to make Canton a model, see if we can do an NFL game here in Canton. If we can do that exhibition game, then that will reflect positively on the rest of the season. Thanks for that report, Ted. Okay, down to November 8, Papa Whiskey. Bill, any traffic for the net?
W8AL, this is N8PW. Well, it's a beautiful night. I'm out in my front yard trying to prune an antenna for QRP, and just about packing that up because I think a storm is coming. Other than that, I'm still looking for operators for that first weekend in August for the Hall of Fame enshrinement weekend. This is N8PW.
All right, thank you for that report, Bill. Pulled up the radar here. The line is touching the western edge of Wayne County, western edge of Wayne. So you got a few more minutes to get that thing buttoned up and battened down before it hits. Okay, it brings us up to November 8th, Victor X-Ray, Quebec. Perry, any traffic for the net?
Geo and the rest of the net, N8BHQ here. Don't have a whole lot there for the net there. Let me turn the center radio down. Then do 2 nets at once. Good hearing, everybody. Just listening, and if I hear anything more, I'll give a comment on later on. I'll turn it back to net control, N8BHQ.
Thank you very much, Barry. Yeah, certainly everyone will have their opportunity to say whatever they'd like. Okay, next call sign in the list is Whiskey 8 to Juliet Kilowatt Charlie. Justin, any traffic tonight?
Good evening, everyone. Not tonight, Dave. I'm going to reply to your email and fill out a couple line items on the field day planning. WJKC.
Excellent. Yeah, I imagine we'll get to that and maybe fill in a few more blanks yet tonight. That's the hope, anyways. Okay, Whiskey 8 Victor Echo, Roger. Any traffic for the net tonight?
Can you put me on Zoom?
There. Hello. I'm on my phone on Zoom. Can you hear me? Okay, I'll go back to the radio.
I think I heard John in there. Yeah, Roger, if you are talking on Zoom, someone will have to relay over the air, and not all of us are looking at Zoom. If your radio is working, Roger, that would be preferable. Roger, call again. Any traffic for the net?
Just one quick thing. I have a friend, W8AL, who's a friend of Bill and me, and he has a Collins S-line receiver, transmitter, 32S3, 75S3, which is a newer model, and a power supply that he'd like to sell. Back to you.
Okay, Roger. Would this gentleman happen to live in Massillon?
No, he lives up in Chester.
Okay. Earlier this week, Justin relayed me a voice message. I think it was email or voice message of a ham whose friend went. Well, no, it's a non-ham whose friend went SK, and he has, quote, a whole bunch of radio equipment that he's looking to get rid of. It is unclear whether it's a CB or radio or what we're dealing with. I did make an appointment to go out there and look at this stuff tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So I'll report that back to the club. Don't know if it's up for donation, if he just wants help selling it or whatever, but that's the deal. Okay, next after Roger, we'll go to Fred since he's on a radio, and then we'll try and go back to Herb and see if we can get Zoom participation there. So Fred, Whiskey Delta 8, management by objective. Any traffic for the net tonight, Fred?
No traffic, but I do have a quick question. Does anybody listening know what a data field called a memory tag is? It's I ran across it in the manual trying to register a frequency to a channel, and nobody knows that I've found yet knows what the field is. It's called memory tag. Does anybody know? Over.
Okay, Fred, I think your question was you need to know how to associate a frequency with a memory on a particular ICOM radio. Is that what you need, Fred?
This is a Yaesu. It's a Yaesu FD70. My son just got it for me, and he has one too, but he loads his stuff through the software. Well, my software doesn't work. Something to do about the driver. So I'm going to try to do it by hand, and they want me to put it in a thing called a memory tag. Over.
Okay, can anyone help Fred? Yaesu Fox Tango 70, trying to load the thing manually with a channel, and Fred needs some help there. Anyone familiar with Yaesu? Go ahead. guess no one has an answer off the top of their head. This is NXAJ. Fred, I'll take a look and see if I can find a little cheat sheet. Sometimes they have one page, everything condensed into one page kind of manuals. Those, to me, have proven to be quite helpful. If I can find such a thing, I'll send it to the email address that the club has on file for you, Fred. That brings us up to Herb, Whiskey Delta 8, India Papa Echo. Herb, if you have anything, if you care to contribute with traffic for the net, put it into Zoom, and I'll ask somebody to relay.
No traffic tonight, Dale. WJKC.
Thank you, Justin, for that relay. Okay, that got us through the first round. We'll take any late check-ins at this time. This is the W8AL, Wednesday night, 7:30 PS net. Any late check-ins? Go ahead.
Dale, this is KG8RRY, Jerry in Massillon Mobile.
Good evening, Gary. Got you there. Any other late check-ins?
Whiskey Delta 8 Alpha Yankee Echo.
Sounds like Dave. Okay, Dave, tear yourself away from the Skywarn for a little bit, maybe. I see a line of stuff coming at us.
Yes, we are. We're also listening on DMR, the WX8CLEs on DMR too.
Very good. Might ask you, Dave, just a brief answer. Is the backbone any different with DMR? Is there like redundant everything set up, or is everything pretty much the way it was 4 or 5 years ago?
Well, everything's kind of like it was. DMR is just a added way of communicating just in case you can't get in via 6 meters. 6 meters is still the primary, but they do have the talk group for Cleveland weather that they're using. We do have programmed into both the east and west DMR machines here in Stark, and they are passing out information and asking for reports as needed. And a quick question for you, Dale. Did you get my text message on the questions we talked about last week?
Yes, I did. Roger, Roger. I'm going to try and get out there Friday as the next work day. I'll give Tim or Doug a jingle and make sure it's okay to come in. But Friday looks like the day. Don't need you there right on that day. I'll just be putting everything together, testing. Then hopefully the next thing after that will actually be physical install over in the radio room. I would like you to coordinate with that one.
Okay, very good. Well, you'll have to give me a telephone call. I have to fill you in on some updates on our end here. So with that, we'll turn it back to you and kind of be listening on DMR frequency there for what's going on with the weather. W8AL, WD8AY.
Thank you very much, Dave. Any other late check-ins before we go on to longer duration traffic for the net?
CARC.
Go right ahead, Ted.
Yeah, I've been hearing on the backbone that these storms moving in from Lorain County down to Ashland County and probably points in between are producing winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. So it might Probably going to be some scattered power outages through that one.
I would agree. Just looking at the radar, it's a big line. It goes all the way from Canada down to southern part of Ohio, Columbus area. It's coming our way. What can I say? Alrighty, we'll just go through real quick. Anyone have any longer traffic they'd like to do with the net tonight? After that part is over with, we'll move on. We'll talk a little bit about field day. I know, Bill, you've got an update on the HOF activities, or if you'd like to share that with the group. So why don't we start with you, Bill? Go ahead and, if you would, and update us on what's happening with HOF.
W8AL, this is N8PW. Yeah, Dale and I had a conversation today about some rudimentary planning for the September event, the 100th anniversary, which we believe, and Justin, you can check us on this, we believe is handled by the city of Canton and not necessarily all the Hall of Fame. But the plans for the weekend of April 7th and 8th is to operate maybe from Friday at noon until 8 o'clock or the bands die out, then resume Saturday from 8 until the same time, 8 o'clock or when the bands run out. Right now we have about 8 operators signed up, and I'm always looking for more. In regard to in regard to the September event, we would be looking for a place in public downtown to set up a station, perhaps away from the bands and music and commotion, in which we could operate a special event station and allow the public to witness that, to listen in, and sort of demonstrate where we're reaching from that particular station. But again, we have to gain permission for that. And I hear, rumor has it, Dale, NX8J is going to be working on that. W8AL, this is N8PW, and I will stand by for any questions.
Here's an easy one, a softball question for you, Bill. You said Saturday, 8 o'clock till the bands die out. Some of us have to ask, does that mean 8 a.m. or 8 p.m.? Over.
Sorry, Dale, that would be 8 a.m. until the bands die out. So back to net and N8PW.
Check in.
It sounds like Byron. Got kilowatt F8 uniform November QSL.
So.
Okie doke, Byron. Thanks for checking in. Asking you if you have any traffic for the net, Byron.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay, nothing going on tonight. Bill, any further questions for Bill about the first HOF activity? That would just be the traditional parade, enshrinement, the part we're all accustomed to. I'll just reinforce what Bill said. The event after that, about a month after that, the centennial celebration, could be a much higher profile event as far as the eyes of the nation looking on it. We're very early in the getting permission stages, so we'll have more info on that as it comes. So any questions about the late July, early August activities? Go ahead.
JKC.
Justin, please.
Yeah, this came up back when I did this in 2017 with the QSL manager. Are we set up as the club for long of the world? I got one or two that asked about it, and as far as I know, we are not.
Justin, no information here. Sorry.
I'm looking to getting the certificates and whatnot generated through the WRL. WJKC.
I had a question probably for Justin. We've seen graphics of a QSL card, a candidate QSL card, has a nice picture of the hall with the fireworks popping off in the background. That's a great shot. And I saw the same great shot on one of the HOF websites. So I'm just sort of wondering if we're okay to use that, or if it was a public domain shot to begin with. Over.
For their checking.
Okay, I know. At least in the publishing photographs on the web, there's a lot of patent trolls or trolls out there that they use automated tools to identify when someone has posted a copyrighted picture, and they instantly hit them with a lawsuit. So I don't know if that picture of the hall with the fireworks is copyrighted, who owns it. I don't know a thing about it. So I think we definitely have to check it before we print anything. Okay, listening for any other traffic for the net tonight, and then maybe we'll move it on to some field day discussion. Taking any traffic from anybody. Go ahead.
Kilo 8, Papa India, November. Sorry about that. Late to the party. Dirk.
Papa India, November. Dirk, thanks for coming by. And do you have any traffic for us tonight?
No traffic. Everybody stay safe. We got this storm coming through, so remember to take your antennas and disconnect them and do whatever you have to do to keep bad things from happening. Other than that, KPIN, back to net control.
All right, thanks for the reminder. Okay, on field day, about an hour, 90 minutes ago, I sent out the latest and greatest thing for our field day planning. And the big thing to look at in there, I guess, is there's some items that have to be decided. And then after that is just a whole bunch of who's doing what and who still has to do what. That part's self-explanatory. Key items to decide. I wish Denny were here tonight because this does affect him. The thing was, are we going to invite guests in, non-amateur guests, to stop by? And if we do so, will there be some restrictions and such on their time that they are visiting? And associated with that question, break. Along with that question, if we are not going to encourage the general public to stop by, should we bother with the PIO tent that we usually put up? Again, if we're not asking the general public to stop by, do we even need to put signs out front? I mean, we all know where the place is. Question is, do we spend the time and the effort to put signs up to encourage people that we don't want to have on site? So that all comes back to the big question, do we want guests or not? And what would be the circumstances after they get there? Okay, break. We'll go ahead and take debate on that. Just throw your opinion out, and hopefully we'll have another go around here with Denny in attendance, and he can throw in his 2 cents worth. So question on the table is, general public coming to our field day, yes or no? Go ahead.
Glenn?
Byron, go ahead.
Recommend a small sign so those passing by that would be curious what's happening, but not necessarily all the PIO that we normally do. Again, having a small sign might alleviate stopping to ask questions.
Good point. Good point. We'll be up there, all night, overnight, wandering around, making a little bit of racket, perhaps. A sheriff cruiser going by might think there was something amiss. So, very good point. Any other discussion on signage or non-ham visitors to the field day operation? Go ahead.
W8VE.
Yes, Roger. Like to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of the non-ham visitors, but I am in favor of Dennis and Perry in putting a big sign up. I'm just thinking about with CARC. There's other hams that come from other clubs looking for us, and they're not, the general public, but it sure helps them out if they're coming down there at the farm on, Dearman Farm, that the sign helps them come in. A lot of the hams like to go to the different clubs, so I'm still in favor of the tent or in the large sign if you still have it. Back to you.
Thank you, Roger. Yeah, and thinking about it a little bit, if we are going to allow other hams to just slip in and say hello, one of the things we need to do on all visitors is clear them, ask them to follow safety procedures and that sort of thing. So that alone sort of mandates a little bit of a reception area. Don't know if you need a whole canopy and a display and all that just to tell somebody to put their mask on. But, it's sort of obvious if we're going to let anybody at all come in outside of the club. Got to be someone who is a gatekeeper to acknowledge them and get their signature. Any other comments?
MNT?
Yes, sir. Tom, go ahead.
As far as the PIO tent, I believe we should have it, and it should be, the main capacity would be a sign-in area for anybody and everybody, club members, non-club member hams, and if someone from the general public should happen by, we need a sign-in area and the area in where to clear the individuals so they can either work or they can do a short, quick visit or whatever. So, yeah, I think that area is going to be a necessary evil at this point, because I'm thinking that if, let me get a quick break here. I'm thinking that if someone were to request it, the sign-in log should reflect, if it's a ham, call sign, name, and a section for temperature. If we take their temperature or whatever in order to clear them, so that we have a log that, okay, everybody came through, was okay according to that point, and then we can go about our business. But yeah, I do think the PIO tent in that capacity is required, along with the canopy, because if it does rain, I'm going to melt. So we need that. KA8MNT, back to the net.
Thank you, Tom, for the good comments. Yeah, it's sort of looking that way, that there needs to be a gatekeeper, if not a full-blown PIO person, at least somebody to get people checked in and brief them on the site requirements, if you will. And the canopy, yeah, who's going to say whether it's going to rain or stay dry? I can't predict it that far out for sure. So, unless there's any objection, sounds like the PIO canopy, tent, whatever, is going to be there. And the PIO officers might have some extra duties of briefing people on safety procedures and just checking them in. Any other comments on the greeting area before we move on?
Just infecting stuff there at the tube.
Byron, I'm sorry, didn't get the whole thing. Say again.
I might have some dojos dust or something, Perel or something there.
Roger, Roger. Yes, well, the person who's doing the biological safety is, you know, that's one of their duties, is to make sure everything necessary is there, and that person, along with guidance from other agencies, will come up with some procedures for visitors to the site. Nothing outrageous, you know, just pretend like you're going to, you know, the grocery store or something, or today I went to the dentist, you know, and it only took about a minute, you know, to go through the rigmarole on the way in. Nothing outrageous. Any other comments on the greeting or PIO positions? Was that you, Perry?
It's NABXQ. I was going to say, you know, like, we should have a number of what people are allowed to be coming in on that grounds to be safe. It's like the stores do. They have a number of how many people is allowed in there. Yeah, I'm hoping we have someone there that knows what they're doing about the checking these people too. I think we ought to just limit it to hams, you know, maybe visiting hams, and they should do. I don't know. It should be an expense if we can get them gloves and masks. You know, they should have that before they come through. That would help, you know, everybody around like that. But that's going to be. I mean, I agree. Somebody should be there. Usually, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to come yet. I have to see how my mom's doing. Like that, with her health and stuff there, I may have to stay home here. As it gets nearer, we'll see how things come out on that. But yeah, but the minimum amount of people I think should be able to come through there, and we should have somebody there. But usually I go home, then he goes home. You know, when it gets say 6, 7 o'clock, and we got to have somebody else there monitoring, you know, who comes through there. Just that's one of my comments. NABXQ.
All right. Thank you, Perry, for those comments. Not to change the subject, I will mention that the line of the storms looks like it is just touching the western edge of Stark County. Well, let's move on to the next couple of things here. Site visit by elected official initially. This thing was no way, we're just going to give that up. Same with the site visit by an agency representative, a served agency rep. But I noted that some other clubs are conducting their site visits via FaceTime or some other video phone application. Hey, if that's accepted, you know, my opinion is we go ahead and invite an elected official. We invite a served agency rep, break. And who who knows? Maybe if it's a FaceTime thing, they may be more likely to come out. You know, they could find 10 minutes to do something on their phone, as opposed to finding an hour to drive out there and, you know, all that stuff. Any comments on visits by elected officials or agency reps? Go ahead. Does anyone feel that we should still exclude those visits? You know, excluded on the video and on the in person on the ground visits. Should we exclude those visits? Over.
W8DE.
Yes, Roger.
Yeah, it's going to be, say, somebody's relative. Say they have a kid's, their dad's a ham, or there's a ham, you know, and they come by. It's going to be pretty hard to say, hey, you're not allowed in here. You know, it isn't a real good. Now that doesn't mean that they shouldn't go through the checks, but it's going to be kind of hard to exclude somebody. Say somebody's interested in amateur radio and they know about the field day, and they go over there and they say, oh no, you can't come in here. Back to you.
Yeah, you know, it's walking a fine line there. We're still going to run a GOTA station. Well, if you don't have any visitors, who's going to go on the GOTA? You know, you're limiting yourself to hams who have been inactive for 12 months. And I see your point, but I certainly don't want to get the club exposed to any liability. And I've not checked with our ARRL insurance carrier rather, on what the ramifications would be if we invited the public and John Q. Public stepped in and maybe got sick somehow. Break. So there's a legal question there, whether we open the thing up at all. I'm hoping it goes in the direction that yes, we can accept visitors, and we'll just have to manage that situation very closely. Any other comments on the visitation issue? Over.
Glenn?
Byron, go ahead.
We could always have a waiver there for guests to sign.
Roger. Some might question the legality of a waiver, you know, even if it's signed in blood and cross your heart, hope to die. You know, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to comment. But it would appear that the onus is on the person who is running the site or the business to do the screening, and then they make a decision as to whether someone gets in or not. That's the way it is. I didn't have to sign a waiver to go see the dentist, but I did have to answer a page full of questions, and a nice young lady took my temperature. Over.
W8DE.
Yes, Roger.
Yeah, I'm. It's funny. I'm the president of the Shrine Village Homeowners Association, and we have a annual garage sale, which we sponsor. When we say we sponsor, we send information to Craigslist and the repository, and this discussion came up with us. So I called our lawyer who represents the Shrine Village Association, and he said, he can't say never, but he said that the idea of getting sued would be minimal. It would be really hard to prove for a person if they wish to sue the club. How would they prove that they actually got the virus during the club site? I'm just wondering, you know, the ARRL has lawyers, and maybe they could, maybe we could get with them. Also, did you get my phone numbers for the insurance? Over.
Thanks for the comments, Roger. Yes, I am in receipt of the contact info. ARRL, they're not the underwriters. They're just like the seller for these policies. So you gave me the numbers of the actual underwriters, and those are the people that I will contact and get an answer to this. The last thing I want to do is get the club in a position, or any of the officers in a position, where they could be attacked legally for something they didn't see coming. Alrighty, folks, the storm is just minutes away. I'd sort of like to be closed by then. Last thing on the list here, break, is interstation interference bandpass filters. I think we pretty much agreed we need something like that. Look at the part numbers, vendors, brands. What are we shopping for? How many? I assume 2, 1 for each of the HF stations. Go ahead. Any comments? This is NXHA on the W8AL Wednesday night net. Go ahead.
W8VE.
Yes, Roger.
Right before the meeting, I called Scott Duncan. Scott is willing to sell his Dune Star bandpass filters to the club. He has 2 of them. And knowing Scott, we can give him a fair price. The Dune Star are excellent filters. And so that's hopefully we can work with Scott on that. Back to you.
Okay, so let me repeat to make sure we all understood that. Scott Duncan, KKAD, is liquidating 2 Dune Star filters. They would satisfy the requirements of keeping our 2 HF stations out of each other's hair when they're on different bands anyways. Bill, I know you know a little bit about filters. Any comment on Dune Stars? Over. Bill must have had to take a little run to the boys' room. Any other comments on bandpass filters? Anyone have experience with Dune Stars or another brand that we can look into? Go ahead.
This is N8PW, Dale. I picked up the wrong radio. It was turned off. May I continue?
Sorry, Bill. Yes, you may. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay. I have a set of Dune Stars, and I have a set of ICE filters. The Dune Star filters do not have a switch. In the past, at field day when I was there, my ICE filters were there, and you had to manually tune or turn to the band you were working. And today, the Dune Stars are automated, and they have a 9-pin DIN plug that ground and any one pin will turn the band switch on that particular band. If you do not have it on the right band, you will miraculously hear no signals. So if you get his Dune Stars, you can ask him to give you a switch. You need, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. And 160. You need a 6-way switch in order to pick the ground in one of the 9 pins. But that's the only thing about the Dune Stars. Brand new bandpass filters from RaySolutions.com. That's Jay Terlesky, WX0B, for $699 per radio. Okay, to give you an idea of what the brand new ones are worth, and probably a little bit better filter design. Comparing the ICE break. Comparing the ICE to the Dune Star filters, some combinations are better, some band combinations are better on the ICE, and some band combinations are better on the Dune Stars. But they're very good filters, and that would be a good deal. And I don't know what he wants for them, but they're worth maybe $200 a piece at this stage. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So W8AL, this is N8PW. Back to net.
Good report, Bill. So here, if I hear you right, the Dune Stars don't really have a rotary switch or push buttons on the front. They're selected, the filters are selected by asserting a specific pin. So you just need a very simple rotary switch outboard to do that, or some software, rig software, I guess, if you had such a thing. A question about the filters. If it's on the wrong band and someone keys up, could you expect the rig to just go into foldback and, to protect itself, and at the same time keep from burning up a filter? Over.
Well, this is N8PW. I presume that question was directed to me. I always hate the smell of burning things. Always hate when things go up in smoke. One time during a contest, it was a phone contest, and I lit my boom microphone instead of my mic, or instead of my pipe. So consequently, when you are on the wrong band, something is going to go. Usually a capacitor melts on the spot at 100 watts. So consequently, the Dune Star filters are designed to be automatically chosen for the correct band. You already have band data output on your radios going into your computers. It's a very simple thing to add a bandpass switch, a filter switch, that will automatically choose the right band at the right time for you. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't make smoke. Back to net from N8PW.
Okay, I guess I never heard that story about lighting up the microphone instead of the pipe, but that means it's time to take a break. So, all right. So I'm going to be talking with Scott pretty soon here about some stuff about his generator. By the way, he did consent to us using his generator. We just need to work out how we're going to pick it up and deliver it and all that stuff. I'll ask him if he can tell me anything about the Dune Stars, how much he wants, whether they've been submerged in underwater or, hit with 1,000 watts in the wrong band, all that sort of thing. So we'll get an answer to that pretty quick. Any other comments about the filtering for the rigs? Over.
JKC.
Yes, sir, Justin, go ahead.
Just looking at the list price for comparison purposes, the Dune Star 505 new, and the IC are 15 new.
Well, price is an indication of quality. That would say the Dune Stars are a better filter. ICE, Justin, is there a number with the ICE and the Dune Star? You can repeat that. I'll do some reviewing and research and see if there's any obvious answers come out of this question. Go ahead.
I'll, in my email here after the net, I'll include the links to them. W8JKC.
Justin, that would be very, very helpful. Alrighty, folks. Oh yeah, the other thing, the food thing. Oh my. Well, somehow in all this stuff, we have to figure out how we're going to eat over there. The idea of preparing food for the group, having a cook or something, might not be too workable. So let's entertain some ideas how we're going to feed our faces while we're out there at the Dearman Farm. Over.
W8VE.
There's Roger. Go right ahead, sir.
Well, the last couple of years, we've just, ordered some pulled pork plates. The name of a Carolina barbecue, I believe. My wife picked it up.
I'm not saying we want to do that, but we could make everybody just responsible for their own food, other than say the soda, you know, and the ice chest, and you know, just bring your own. And so that's one idea that might cause a little less problem. Back to you.
That might be the only one that works. You know, it's easy when someone touches a Morse key or a radio knob or something. When they're done, you know, you can wipe it down with an alcohol pad or something, and you're safe. But then if you got a tray of say pulled pork out there, wiping down the serving spoon's a little bit of a pain, and then there's a question of how do you disinfect the food? You know, I don't know. That's out of my pay grade. So perhaps, you know, an a la carte thing or bring your own BYOB thing might be the way to go. Any other comments on the food preparation for field day? Go ahead.
UN?
Sorry, I didn't get the full call, but go ahead, say your call again and then your comment, please.
Yeah, thanks, UN. I can see that, except the guys that are there all night operating, maybe something like individual Eggman muffins or something like that, just so they can break from work, from operating, and go right back at it.
Okay, I think I heard you say maybe packaged food servings, like order, you know, sandwiches or something from a restaurant and have them individually wrapped, individually boxed, and leave them that way until they're consumed. Is that your point? Go ahead.
Yeah, because if you're there and you're operating and it's really inconvenient for you to leave and get fresh, and stuff's not going to keep very well from Saturday morning till Sunday noon. Something for the operators. You want to support them as much as you can.
Roger. Well, the Sunday morning deal, I think Perry is usually volunteered to go out and pick stuff up and bring it back. That's highly appreciated. Perhaps during the other hours, just dealing with packaged, wrapped food only, nothing in bulk. You know, you can buy cold submarine sandwiches wrapped up in saran wrap and just leave them in a cooler, you know, for a long time. As long as no one opens them up and picks off the pickles and then wraps them back up, I think we're okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe like you've had those chips before, individual chips. That might snack food so that operating you right back at it.
Very well. Gonna throw it over to our treasurer. If he could, I don't know, I hate to ask you to say what's in the treasury, but do you think we're all set if we turn in a food bill for a couple of $100? Would that be a gigantic hit? Roger, go ahead.
Oh no, we're excuse me, W8AL. As long as we don't spend $1,200 on Dune Star filters, as long as we get a good price from Scott, we're in pretty good shape. The Treasury we can easily afford. It probably wouldn't be a couple $100, but you know, for $50 you can get quite a few submarine sandwiches cut to 6 inches. I think that's a very good idea that you and Byron came up with. That sounds like a very good idea to have that. And you know, we can even have packaged potato chips, small bags of potato chips, individual that, and also pretzels and things like that, individually wrapped. I think that's an excellent idea. Back to you, Mr. W8AL.
Very well. Okay, well, I'll just pencil that in as that's how we're going to do it. Anyone has any comment or, we're still definitely open till suggestions and good ideas right up to the last moment. As far as beverages go, fortunately, everything we do is like bottled water, canned soda, that's already packaged and sealed. Coffee might be an issue. There's the problem of if you make a pot of coffee and you drink a couple cups and it just sits there and gets rancid in a few hours. So perhaps someone might be inclined to drag out a Keurig thing. That way everyone could make their own, and it's boiled water and they're the ones touching it. You could wipe down the coffee maker after you pull your pot out. Any comments on that? Over. Go ahead.
Purchase some of those, it might be nice to have some hot chocolate
Roger. Hot chocolate more than just coffee. The other alternative is, you go to McDonald's and you get a dozen small coffees to go with lids and put them somewhere, and yeah, they're going to get cold, but maybe we have a microwave oven or something on site, I don't know, to warm them up. We're sort of making up the rules as we go along, but just trying to get something that works for everybody and is safe. Any other comments on the food or beverage situation for field day? Go ahead. Okay, hearing nothing, I'm going to ask one more time if there's any traffic for the net, and if not, due to incoming weather, we'd probably best close her down. So do we have any other traffic or late check-ins for the W8AL Wednesday night net?
N8PW, field day.
Okay, N8PW, Bill, go ahead.
Real quick, we have a sunspot in the new cycle. Everybody should stand up and cheer. N8PW, good night all, 73.
Bill, that is good news. I may have a taste of some special beverage to celebrate when I get home. So thank you for that good news. Any other traffic for the net before we close?
W8VE.
Go right ahead, Roger.
A couple things. I know we're rushed because of the storm. I don't want to talk for John, but John, you have a device transceiver, tuner, and computer. John also in the past has supplied a generator that he has over there. So hopefully the CW station will advance John's generator. Also, I gave Jerry Strictly a call before the meeting. Jerry was good enough to provide a pin for the 8020 CW station last year. Jerry came, set it up. It had just really good, and he came and we all gathered it up together. So hopefully, if Jerry doesn't come through, we'll have to do it. So I just left Jerry a message today. Back to you, W8VE clear.
All right, thank you, Roger. So you've not got a definite yes or no from Jerry on the 10th, but that's a strong possibility, is what I hear. And John, if you're still on K8ISS, did you intend to bring a generator this year? Go ahead.
Oh, this is K8ISS. Oh, that's a definite positive. We're bringing the generator, the whole station. I really don't need anything. Everything's working. I do have to change oil in the generator yet, but that's it. That's my comment before timeout here. Go ahead.
All right, that's good news, John. So between John's generator and Scott KKAD's generator, I've got the little Honda 2000 water. I think that whole thing is covered in spades, so we're good there. Very good there. Any other traffic for the net before we close?
JC.
Yes, Justin.
This year.
Yep, I apologize, Justin. I forgot you brought one to the party as well. So maybe I'll tell Scott that we really appreciate the offer, and he should just keep his available as a standby since he lives fairly close. If we should need a generator in a hurry, we could just get over there and grab it and go that way. Okay, folks, if no other traffic, NXAJ is going to sign. We're going to close the net down, return the repeater to normal amateur use. Keep your eyes on the sky, unhook your antennas, and everybody be safe. We'll see you next week, same time, same frequency. And until then, 7320 NXAJ net control for the W8AL net. I will be